Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy AI Legends, and yeah, guys, today I am back with another series which is going to be what if Naruto was betrayed and was almost, you can say, was ordered to be executed in front of all the village, as villagers were really happy about it. Well, but before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video. If you guys are new to this channel or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It will really help me a lot as I want to reach 10k as quick as possible, and I have already reached 7.5k. So yeah guys, if you guys have not subscribed yet or if you guys are new to this channel, please guys do so. This series I wanted to do it for a long time as it is going to be a really great idea as I thought it for a really long time. So I hope that you guys will like this series, and if you guys want the next part of this series today, then you guys already know that what you can do. The like goal is going to be 350 likes and the comment goal is going to be 180 comments. So guys, do that, and I might upload the next part of this series today. So it really depends upon you guys. So without any further ado, let us start our video. As we shall start our video, as a bloody and beaten up boy was right now sitting within the prison of Konoha Ambo Squad, as this kid was recently tortured by the Ambos as well as many shinobis of this village. This kid had blonde hairs and blue eyes, 3 whisker marks on both of his cheeks, as this kid was none other than Uzumaki Naruto, the former Genin of Konoha. As Naruto said, well, to be honest, I was not expected to be betrayed by them, but it's too bad. It seemed that everything is going according to the plan. Even though he was about to be executed and betrayed by a very close people to him, he still had a smile on his face. After all, this was not unseen by him. This kid was a prodigy among prodigies, as he was forced to grow up a lot quicker than any other kid, and just like them, all the beatings in all of his life forced him to grow up and see everyone from the eyes, you can say, of a true shinobi. As Naruto had a smile on his face, well, I was not expecting them to betray me, but it's too bad. I have already planned for it. It seems that everything is going to be go according to the plan, huh? Well, it is going to be really just like a Shikamaru Nara would say, troublesome. And he had a smirk on his face, and now flashback, as we have a 6-year-old kid that was running from a mob of people. This kid was none other than Uzumaki Naruto, but alas, he's unfortunate, as these people were not any normal people. Some of them were shinobis, and 6 years old kid who do not even know how to use chakra cannot run from them. As in the end, Naruto was caught up by these people and beaten up half to the death. As now the people has just beaten the kid once again, had a huge smile on their faces and went off, as Naruto was there in the alleyway for some time as he simply sighed, as his, you can say, injuries started to heal up pretty quickly, and he do not even know why is that, but still he did not care as he picked himself up, started to walk towards his home, as he noticed that a presence was in his home, as he simply sighed as he opened the door to see an Ambu, as this Ambu was the one which was assigned to him for his protection. As Naruto simply sighed and said, well, it's been a while, Itachi-san. As Itachi noticed Naruto, this Ambu removed his mask and said, well Naruto, I did told you not to speak my name when I'm on duty. As Naruto simply shrugged at that, as Itachi noticed Naruto's condition as he sighed and said, so they got you again, huh? As Naruto simply shrugged, well, what can I do? There were some shinobis in them. As Itachi's voice widened, before this incident, they were always, well, I say always, it means always civilians, but it was never the shinobis to attack Naruto. As Itachi shook his head, well, Naruto-san, I'm really sorry about it. I was on a long-term mission. I have just arrived here to see if you are here or not. As Naruto simply nodded, well, what can we say, Naruto? As Itachi-san, so, do you know why these people even hate me, huh? As Itachi did not say anything, as he said, well, Naruto-san, I do not know anything about it. As Naruto simply nodded. As this was the apartment of Uzumaki Naruto, there were some, you can say, papers all around, which Itachi noticed, but Naruto picked them up and then simply take them away to his room, as Itachi was a bit curious about it, but he did not pay it any mind. After all, he has other things to deal with. As Naruto was now standing in the, you can say, In the bathroom of his home, there was mirror in front of him as he was wondering about the whole situation. He was no fool, but actually a prodigy among prodigies, a generational genius. But to be honest, after all of this, he was not able to figure out what was the main reason. Why is he actually hated and all? Though he had to figure out later or sooner or later, as he simply came out of the room to see that Itachi was still there. As he said, so Itachi-san, so it seems that your work is done here. Why don't you go away to your clan? As Itachi simply nodded. Well, Naruto-san, if you had any trouble, you can come to me. Right now, my duty is off, and you are at your home, so take care. As Naruto simply nodded as Itachi went off. As Naruto once again went back to the, you can say, in front of the mirror, as he started to look towards it, as he was wondering if he could make up some plan so that these people can leave him alone for some time, as he started to wonder about it. As then, a huge smirk arrived on his face as he opened his eyes with a goofy smile on his face. Would it work, huh? As he looked himself into the mirror, as after some time, 2 or 3 times blinking with a goofy smile on his face, a serious expression arrived to his face as he slammed his face to the mirror, breaking it apart. As Naruto said, damn it, as blood was coming from his hand. As he sighed and said, well, it cannot be helped. It seemed that I have to do it. As he simply nodded at that. After some time, you can say he took take some rest and finally he got healed up, which he was pretty curious about, even though he was a little kid. But he is definitely know that people get injured and these people do not get healed up this quickly. Though he was wondering what could be more special about him. Though right now he has other things to deal with, and he had finally took, you can say, a mask on his face, which was none other than a goofy smile, as he rushed outside of his apartment and started to run towards the Hokage office. As people noticed and the goofy smile, they were pretty confused about it, but they did not pay it any mind. It could be a trick from the demon boy. As Naruto buzzed inside of the office of third Hokage, as he said, hey Gigi, been a while, huh? With a, you can say, goofy smile on his face. As third Hokage noticed Naruto, as Naruto had a huge smirk, you can say the goofy smile on his face, and said, still try to burn the paperwork with your glare, huh? It will not work, Gigi. As third Hokage laughed, well Naruto, at least I tried, After seeing all the paperwork that was, you can say, on his desk, as he sighed, as he looked towards Naruto and noticed a goofy smile and said, what's with the smile, Naruto-kun? As Naruto simply shrugged and said, well, it seems that I have to do something to make myself stupid, otherwise these people are not going to leave me alone. As Satakage sighed, so, do you think that this mask you're wearing will help you about it? You did try to change your attitude about them. As Naruto simply shrugged, well, a foolish person could be easily underestimated, Gigi. As Satakage simply nodded at that as he said, so Naruto-kun, how can I help you? As Naruto said, well, to be honest, I was here so that I can get some money. It seemed that they broke into my house once again and destroyed many things. As Satakage sighed, as Naruto looked towards him, as he said, so Gigi, did you find out why these people hate me? As Satakage shrugged and said, well Naruto-kun, I was trying my best. It seemed that I do not have a lot of time and my ambus are not trying and were not able to find anything, as Naruto simply nodded at that. And now we have a time skip of 3 years. Right now Naruto is 9 years old. In this time he has finally made everyone believe that how he is just a stupid person and just a fool, as well as pulling a lot of pranks on everyone in the Hokage's monument, even on Hokage. As even Hokage started to think that Naruto is just a stupid person, but he knows better. After all, he's one of the strongest shinobi to ever live. While on the other hand, Naruto knew himself, but every day it was a struggle for himself, as he simply wanted to break the bones of these people. But he started to realize after his mask of being a stupid person, people started to ignore him and the beating simply got less and less. While on the other hand, Naruto was trying his best to learn this clone jutsu, but for some reason he was not able to do so, and now he simply shrugged and went back to his home. After all, it's about time that he started to work on that. Here we have, you can say, a flashback, as it was Itachi who arrived out of nowhere in the room of Naruto when Naruto was around 8 years old. As Naruto was pretty surprised to see Itachi and saw that how there was blood over him, as Itachi said, well Naruto-san, As Naruto said, Itachi, what are you doing here? And what happened? Are you injured? As Itachi simply shook his head. Well, Naruto-san, it seemed that I have to do something which I'm pretty shameful for, but it cannot be avoided. Though, I want to do, you can say, I want you to do something for me. As Naruto looked towards Itachi, and what could that be, Itachi-san? As Itachi said, well, my little brother, take care of him, Naruto, and make sure that he do not go on the wrong path. As Naruto was pretty confused about it, he already knew about Sasuke and all, but still, as Itachi gave Naruto a scroll and said, well Naruto-san, when the time comes, you are going to need this. So, take it to yourself. As Naruto simply nodded at that, as he saw that there was chakra seal, as well as the blood seal on him. As Naruto simply nodded at Itachi, still wondering what could be the reason, while on the other hand Itachi simply vanished from the room. As Naruto simply nodded as he put the scroll away, already knowing that about the condition. As Naruto opened the scroll, as he was pretty surprised, there were some jutsus written on it, especially the one which Itachi knew that Naruto would have trouble when the times arrived, because Itachi wanted to train Naruto after taking care of him for a pretty long time. As he saw that this was the scroll of a multi-shadow clone jutsu, it seemed that Itachi was able to figure out the forbidden technique after learning the shadow clone. As Naruto simply nodded as he started to train with the shadow clones and all. And once again, right now, Naruto is 9 years old. And in the academy, all the academy thinks that Naruto is some, you can say, a stupid person. As he was taking a stroll to the ground and finally arrived to see that two kids were beating to a kid. As well as one of them was lazy enough that was simply standing away, as two of them were beating this kid. As Naruto started to walk up to them as he said, what are you guys doing? As this one of the two bullies, Smack. This was none other than a dog boy, otherwise known as Kiba, and the second one was Choji Akamichi, and third was none other than Shikamaru, while on the other hand, the person who was on the ground was none other than Shino Aburame. Naruto already knew about their clans and their reputation and all, while on the other hand, he was pretty surprised that a clan heir was getting bullied by other three. As Naruto said, what are you guys doing? As Kiba said, hey, Baka, well, this is just a freak. Can't you see? They have bugs inside of their body and are all under their clothes. Can you even imagine that? Huh? They're just a freak. Wouldn't you agree? Huh? If you want to join, please do so. Otherwise, get lost. As Naruto's eyes widened, this kid was being judged just because, you can say, he has something which he cannot control. As Naruto gritted his teeth, this was the first time, or rather third time, his mask got broke in front of anyone. As Naruto glared at both Kiba and Choji and said, how dare you to judge anyone for something they cannot control? And who do you think you actually are, huh? As Kiba's eyes widened, this was the first time Naruto has yelled at someone in this manner, as pure anger was inside of Naruto's eyes. As Naruto glared at Kiba, huh? So you're too quick to judge others when it comes to you. What are you, huh? A dog boy. You guys are nothing, born with the dogs and all. You have to rely on your partner, or rather a dog, and look at yourself. You have fangs, for God's sake, as well as look at your mouth. You smell like a dog and all, and even sleep with them. As Kiba was way too shocked to speak anything. As Naruto then looked towards Choji, and what are you, huh? Judging other. Look at your stomach, you fatso. If it was any other situation, Choji would have got angry, but he was way too shocked to speak anything. As Naruto started to insult both of them on their faces, and then he looked towards Shikamaru and you. As Shikamaru simply sighed, troublesome. As Naruto started, huh? Well, what are you guys, huh? Always so lazy about everything, and you guys think you can control shadows and all. Other than that, what are you? Your taijutsu is nothing, and your clan is only here so that you can provide some brain power. Other than that, you guys do not have any chakra reserves and all. Always sleeping in, even in the missions and all. I bet that most of the people that die in the Shinobi War was because of your laziness. As Shikamaru became angry on that, but he was way too lazy to speak anything. As Naruto simply glared at all of them, as all of them were in utter awe. As Naruto then looked to Shino, and he had a smile on his face and said, hey Shino, come with me. As Naruto gave him a hand, as Shino simply took it. Though he had a smile on his face, but still, with his mask, no one can actually see. As Naruto said, come on Shino, we have other things to deal with. As Shino simply nodded, as he started to walk away. As now, we have another time skip. Right now, Naruto is around 10 to 11 years old. In this time, he was able to master the multi-shadow clone jutsu and even started to experiment with the only jutsu he knows, which is a B rank. Other than that, he knows the transformation and all substitution. Though those were easy, though clone jutsu gave him a lot of trouble, but with this multi-shadow clone jutsu, it was really easy to pass the exams if he so desired. But right now, he do not want to do this. Otherwise, all the council as well as the civilians will be after him. So he has to stall for time. Though he was still wondering all of this time why he was hated and all, his mind was something so special. As Naruto simply went back to his home wondering what could be the main reason why he is hated. Right now he has two friends which he can actually rely on. These were none other than Shino Aburame and Hinata Hyuga, a girl which he saved years ago and got beaten up by those bullies, though he did not care. But still, that girl was really nice, so Naruto liked to spend some time with her. Naruto finally arrived to his home, still wondering about the situation, as Naruto put out some of the files and started to write on them, as it was written on the top of it. Summer. Kendenji plan. As Naruto simply nodded as he started to write on this plan, as he had all the situations already in his mind what could go wrong in this village and how to save himself. He has even started to build up a underground passageway so that he can, you can say, escape the village if the needs were to ever arrive. And with his multi shadow clone jutsu and the transformation jutsu, which seems to be pretty powerful, not many shinobi can see through his transformation. Though Naruto was also confused about it, he can make a solid henge that no one will be able to notice that how it is a henge or not. For some reason, though he did not pay it any mind, as he started to write on it, as he started to think he has to find out why people actually hate him. So he finally came up with an idea. This night he will finally be able to learn why everyone hates him and why his life was like this. As he started to walk within the village, as he saw that people were noticing him as well as glaring at him, as he simply started to walk, and then one of the person arrived and he stayed on the table as he said, "Hey, isn't that the kid?" As other one nodded, "Yeah, the one, the demon boy," as Naruto said. As the person eyes widened as he said, "The demon boy, what do you mean by that?" As other one looked towards him, "Hey, are you a new person in the village?" As he simply nodded, "Yeah, I've just shifted, though I was wondering who that kid actually is." As he said, "Hey, speak low, you already know the law. You could be executed for it." As the person who has just arrived was pretty confused about it, as he said, "What do you mean executed and all? What is so special about him? He looks like a normal boy and a cute one." As the person that was sitting beside him, "Hey, don't be fooled by him. Don't you know he's the Nine Tails?" As the person's eyes widened, "What? The Nine Tails? What are you talking about? He's just a kid." And he said, "No, don't you know? It seems that you're new in the village. Just don't tell anyone. I'm going to tell you. He's the Nine Tails lives inside of him. It seems that the fourth Hokage has sealed it inside of him. He's the QB reincarnated." As the person who was sitting and listening to all of this, eyes widened as he said, "Huh, so that's the case, huh?" As he simply nodded, "Yeah, he's a demon. Don't go near to him." As he simply nodded, "Yeah, I have wife and children, so I'll go take care of them." As all these people who were sitting there simply nodded, and "Yeah, don't tell anyone about it and don't even speak about it. Third Hokage had made a law. Whoever speak about the QB shall be executed." As the person who was walking away simply got froze in his tracks as he simply nodded, "Yeah, I will keep that in mind." After saying that, he simply went off, as after some walking away, the person simply burst into the smoke. While on the other hand, the kid who has just arrived back to his home got all the memories of the shadow clones as tears started to come at the corner of his eyes as he simply slimmed down. Finally, the person that was listening to all of it and got all the information was none other than a shadow clone which changed into a normal civilian and got all the information as the kid was simply started to cry. After all, he already had some idea about his healing and all, though he was called demon but never the Nine Tails, and he has finally got the information. As he put some of the chakra within his stomach, as there was this seal always, so he tried to find out about learning by seals and all, though he was never able to get any information on a tetragram seal that was on his stomach, though he was wondering what could it actually hold, but he was never able to unseal the seal by just simply putting his chakra there. though Seal could arrive, as Naruto simply sighed after some crying as anger started to fill his eyes. That damn old man already knew it for so long time. He always wanted to know why he was hated, but Tadokage always said that how it was just that people do not like him, or it could be any other thing. Though now he already knew, as anger, that was the only thing in his mind. He just wanted to go burst inside of the Tadokage, but he calmed himself down as he simply sighed and then put out a small paper, or rather a big paper, a file, and started to write on it. Summer, Kentucky, betrayal, Tadokage. As he started to write on that as well, but keeping all of this hidden, if knowing that if any Ambu or even Tadokage were to find out about it, it could be a bit troublesome for him. As he simply nodded, in future he will take advantage of this information and will get what deserves to him. As he simply sigh and then started to train and all. Now we have a time skip. This time Naruto was inside of the, you can say, it is about 12 years Naruto, as Naruto was now standing in front of Mizuki and Iruka, as Iruka had a smile on his face. Alright Naruto, just made a one clone and you will be able to pass this exam, otherwise you will fail, as Mizuki had a huge smirk on his face, already knowing that the demon boy is going to fail and he's going to trick him so that he can get the scroll of sealing. As Naruto simply nodded as they make a hand sign which surprises Iruka and Mizuki, and then suddenly 4 clones arrive beside Naruto as Iruka's eyes widen, while on the other hand Mizuki was in utter shock. He did not even knew how to react at this, as Naruto simply nodded at Iruka. Do I pass, Iruka sensei? As Iruka nodded, yeah Naruto, you passed. You did excellent. As he gave Naruto his headband, as Naruto smiled at that, as he bring the headband, putting it on his head and started to walk away. Coming outside of the academy, he noticed Hinata as well as Shino smiling at him, as Naruto simply smiled at that, and then another person arrived out of nowhere, giving him a huge hug in her huge assets. This was none other than Anko Mitarashi. Hey Gaki, it seemed that you could pass, huh? As Naruto simply nodded at that. As now we have a flashback. 9 years old Naruto was walking within the streets and then he got hit by a girl. It was none other than Anko Mitarashi, as Anko looked at the brat as she glared at him with a hateful look in her eyes, as Naruto noticed that, and then some people were murmuring some things and she looked back to see several people giving her the same look which she used to give him, as her eyes widened in realization, while on the other hand Naruto was looking at all of them, noticing that these people were not this time looking at him but instead looking at her, as Naruto simply shrugged as he looked at her. So they gave you the same look which you gave me a moment ago, didn't you? As Anko's eyes widened in the realization, these people simply look at this kid, the small kid, who does not have any control over things. As her eyes widened in realization and all, these people were doing the same thing which she was doing to this kid. The anger, the hatred for the beast overcome her own judgment, as she simply shook her head, and after that point both of them started to become good friends at that, as Naruto smirked and said, well Anko, it seemed that I passed, huh? As Anko said, yeah, Kaki, alright, you win the bet. So what do you want, huh? As Naruto said, one and only. As Chino said, so you don't want ramen, huh? As Anko said, well, it could be dango, you know. As Naruto said, well, ramen is the best food, you know. As he simply laughed, as Hinata as well as Shino also started to follow her, as well as Anko. As Anko simply shrugged and said, well, it seemed that I'm going to lose all of my money here. As she was murmuring something and finally got, you can say, sunshine to them, to the ramen stand, and after eating it all, just celebrating the passing, as Naruto was going back to his room, to his house, and then Mizuki arrived. Hey Naruto, I was waiting for you outside of the apartment, as Naruto said, Mizuki sensei, what do you want? With a smile on his face, still keeping up with his bazaar and all, as Naruto was pretty tired about the situation of keeping up this mask, and he did not like it whatsoever, but he had to keep up with this. As Mizuki said, well Naruto, I was waiting for you to give you the next part of the exam. As Naruto raised an eyebrow about it, already knowing that this guy was simply lying and all. As he said, the next part of the exam, what are you talking about, Mizuki-sensei? I passed the exam, can't you see this? As Mizuki nodded, well Naruto, there's a secret part of the exam. Don't you know, it seemed that Sasuke, as well as everyone, was able to pass it, only you remains. Though I was not able to find you, as Naruto simply nodded and said, so, what is the next part of this exam? As Mizuki said, well, it's a, you can say, infiltration exam. You have to sneak into the Hokage's office and get a scroll from his basement. And if you are able to do that, you will be able to become an elite Ganin. As Naruto simply smiled and said, well, okay, Mizuki sensei, so tell me about the scroll. I'm going to get it, still keeping up with his, you can say, persona and all. As Mizuki nodded, smirking in his mind, yes, I got the brat. Now I'm going to get the scroll of sealing and all the power from Lord Orochimaru. Though he was thinking all of this in his mind, as Naruto was wondering, what a fool. Obviously, he's telling a lie. Though it does not matter. I'm still going to beat this guy later on. As Mizuki said, alright Naruto. As he started to describe the scroll, as Naruto simply nodded and rushed into the Hokage's office. As he got the scroll, this time he's going to get at the old man and he's going to get a lot of things from him, and that is the promise of Uzumaki Naruto. As he got the scroll, still knocking the third Hokage in the same manner as he came out in the opening. As Naruto looked towards the scroll, as he said, it is going to help me a lot. As he put a small seal on the scroll because he was learning about the skills for a long time. As he opened it, as he said, multi-shadow clone, the flying Raijin. As he started to see through all the scroll, though I cannot learn them, all of them. As he made a shadow clone, which made, you can say, transform into the scroll. As Naruto simply put away the scroll, as he started to walk towards Mizuki, who had just arrived. As he said, hey Mizuki sensei, I was able to get the scroll with no trouble. It seems that I'm going to become an elite Genin. As Mizuki smirked, of course Naruto, you're going to become an elite. As Naruto simply smiled, and then Mizuki was laughing as he said, hey demon, it seemed that you're going to help me a lot. As Naruto's eyes widened, what are you talking about, Mizuki sensei? As Mizuki was laughing, Naruto. As then another voice arrived, hey Naruto, what are you doing? As Iruka landed and Mizuki's eyes widened as he narrowed his eyes towards Iruka. As Naruto simply looked towards Iruka, well, I was doing the exam which Mizuki sensei told me about. That if I get the scroll, then I will become an elite Ganin, as well as going to be on the team of one of the strongest Jonin. As Iruka's eyes widened as he shot a glare at Mizuki, who was smirking. Well Iruka, I was not expecting you to be here, though it does not matter. It seemed that it's about time that I get rid of you, as well as this demon brat. As Iruka's eyes widened, Naruto was way too close as he said, no Mizuki, you're going to return back to the village and to the Hokage's office. And why are you even doing this? As Mizuki started to go on a chant about how he's going to get power and all, as he never was friend with Iruka and all those stupid things. I don't want to go on them. As then he looked towards Naruto. Naruto, do you want to know why you are hated by the village? Why no one liked you and all? As Naruto inside had a huge smirk on his face, already knowing that third Hokage was watching this, and it's the perfect opportunity that he's going to get to blackmail that old man and going to get all the things which were his to begin with. As he looked towards Mizuki. What do you mean by that, Mizuki sensei? As Mizuki said, well Naruto, 12 years ago, 4th Hokage did not kill the 9 tails. Iruka speak up, no Mizuki, that is forbidden. No. As Naruto inside was rolling his eyes, already knowing about all the information and all. As Mizuki said, well, he did not kill it because a Biju cannot die. You are the 9 tails. He sealed it inside of you. You are the QB reincarnate. As Naruto's eyes widened at that, and Mizuki was laughing as he threw the kunai. As Naruto was about to show off his skills and simply blocking the big kunai that was coming towards him. A big shuriken that was coming towards him, but Iruka jumped in the way, which was pretty unexpected. As Naruto eyes widened, this time, this was the first time he has seen the genuine love or care for himself inside of the eyes of someone else. This was Iruka, as Naruto's eyes widened at that, as Mizuki was laughing. Iruka, you're just a softie and a weakling as always, though it does not matter, you're going to pay for it. As Naruto then looked towards Mizuki, all you can say goofiness and shock gone from his eyes as he looked towards Mizuki with a, you can say, cold expression on his eyes, with the blue eyes staring into the soul of Mizuki, as Mizuki had a shiver going through his back as he said, well, it does not matter, you're going to die here, as he bring out another shuriken, as Iruka speak up, Naruto, run! As take the scroll with you, I'll be stalling him. As Naruto simply went past Iruka and said, looked towards Mizuki and said, well, Mizuki sensei, that was quite information you have just given me, though it does not matter. If you call me a QB, then QB I am. Then you should be scared for your life. As Naruto put a single hand sign as Mizuki was laughing. Well, even if you are the QB, you're nothing. You're no match to me. I'm going to kill you and going to leave this village and all that, As Naruto finally speak a multi-shadow clone jutsu. As then, boom, as there were thousands of clones as Mizuki's eyes widen at that, as Naruto smirked as all the clones started to grab Mizuki. He tried his best to, you can say, hold all of them back, but it was to no avail as all of them grabbed Mizuki. As Naruto started to walk up to them, as all the clones made some distance for him, as Mizuki said, demon, what are you going to do, You are nothing. You cannot do anything to me. As Naruto simply went towards him, as Mizuki was still saying, but still he could see the panic within the eyes of this Mizuki guy. As Iruka was also watching this, as he was in utter shock and awe when Naruto simply snapped the neck of Mizuki, as Mizuki had got down, as he was finally dead. As Iruka was in utter shock. This was not the Naruto he knew. How is this even possible? He do not even know how to explain all of this and all. As Naruto simply started to went back towards Iruka and said, well, Iruka sensei, it seems that we have to go to the Hokage's office, right? As Iruka simply nodded, as Naruto picked up Iruka and went back to the village. As third Hokage's office door opened to reveal a kid of blonde hairs. This was none other than Uzumaki Naruto. As Naruto had a blank expression on his face, as third Hokage said, so I take it that you left Iruka to the hospital. As Naruto simply nodded as he closed the door. As he said, alright, put on the privacy seals. As Sadokage simply nodded at that. As he simply made a single hand sign and then the privacy seals were opened, you can say on, in the Hokage office. As Hokage said, well, Naruto, would you like to explain what happened there? As Naruto simply scoffed, don't play with me, old man. I already know that. You were watching that battle, didn't you? As Hokage simply nodded at that. As Naruto said, so, you already knew why. Why those people always hated me? You are the one who put the law in Konoha. That how I was to be never told that I was the ninth Jinchuriki was not. As Tadakage's eyes widened. How did Naruto knew about the word Jinchuriki? As Naruto scoffed, don't take me for a fool. You already know about it, I had a bit of, you can say, suspicion about it. I was learning about the other villages and all. So I came upon the word Jinchuriki, though I never thought that I was the one. As the guilt expression started to arrive on the face of Tadukage, as he said, well, Naruto, I'm really sorry about it. I just wanted the next generation to not to know, so that you can have a normal life, so that people can like you in the future. As Naruto simply scoffed at that and said, well, quite good, that go, So tell me, old man, what are you even hiding? Do you even know my parents and all, and you are still hiding it? As Tadukage was now panicking and all, Naruto was figuring out everything. This was not the time. It was way too quick. As Naruto started to walk up to him, as Tadukage gulped at that and said, as Naruto was an inch away from the third Hokage, as third Hokage was looking into the eyes of Naruto, and within a blink, his fist was slammed into the gut of third Hokage, who gasped in shock, who was not expecting a punch to be delivered at his gut. As third Hokage, as Naruto said, be grateful that I have killed Mizuki, otherwise it would be a kunai that I would be putting in your stomach. As third Hokage's eyes widened, this was the first time he has seen Naruto like this after years. All of this time, the mask, as third Hokage started to like that Naruto, but still knew that it was just a mask which many shinobi use. like Kakashi and all. So as Naruto simply scoffed as he started to went back, as he said, "You have lost my trust, old man, and it will take a lot more to get it back." As Tadokage had a really sad expression on his face as Naruto went out of the academy or the Hokage's office, and after reaching to his home, as Naruto had a smirk on his face, a big smirk on that, he's going to get the old man and all the information and many things from the third Hokage using his guilt, and he's definitely going to play his cards right. While on the other hand, now let us have a time skip of the next day. This was a day for the team placement as Iruka arrived along with everyone. As Naruto was also there was a specific one person who was simply, or rather many people who were glaring at him. They were none other than, you can say, Kiba, as well as even Choji, though Shikamaru did not care, but a specific, you can say, pink hair girl, or rather bitch, none other than Sakura Haruno, as she was simply glaring at him, not wanted the dead loss to pass, but he really surprised everyone by making 4 clones and passing the exam, as she was murmuring something about a failure and all, but Naruto did not care about it. As as everyone started to, you can say, look towards Naruto when he arrived to the room, as many were simply glaring at him, but most of them were looking at him curiously, as this time there was no orange jumpsuit. You can say jumpsuit, not even, you can say, the goofy smile on his face, rather he was dressed in the black, complete black, and you can say grey shirt underneath and a jacket over it, the black jacket, as he had a blank expression on his face as he started to walk towards, you can say, towards his seat, arriving at the side of Hinata. In this time, Naruto and Hinata really became good friends. As a matter of fact, he was started to, you can say, share many secrets with both Shino as well as Hinata, even Anko. Though Anko already knew about the Nine Tails and all, and even Naruto find out about it, though he never told everyone about it, but he will tell in time. Right now, everyone was looking towards him pretty curiously. Even Sasuke got a bit interested, not looking at the goofy smile of that kid, or rather a blank expression, which was really surprising to most of the people. As after some time, Iruka arrived as he said, "Alright class, take your seats," as no one was listening, still talking among themselves. As Iruka said, "Alright, that is enough, you kids," as, well, I was going to use some other word, though it will not be appropriate, as everyone got, you can say, shut up, as Iruka started to explain the teams and all, as he said, "Alright, the team 7 is going to be Uzumaki Naruto, Sakura Haruno," as Naruto simply sighed at that, as Sakura speak up, "What? How can I be with the dead last?" As Iruka sighed, and the next member is going to be Sasuke Uchiha, as Sakura let out a scream of a fangirl, as Naruto simply sighed once again, as he looked towards Sasuke, remembering about Itachi. After the, you can say, departure of Itachi, Naruto was able to find out that Itachi has massacred his clan, though it was pretty confusing to him, not like anything he would believe, still suspicious about many things and all, though right now he has to keep himself calm and try to find out. Though he tried to befriend Sasuke, but he noticed that after the massacre of his clan, he started to distance himself from many people, including himself. So he did not pay it any mind, but still had the request of Itachi in his mind. After all, Itachi really helped him a lot, giving him many jutsus, as well as especially the Shadow Clone Jutsu. By using it, he was able to pass the exams and all. So right now, he was simply looking towards Sasuke, as Sasuke simply scoffed, as still brooding and all, as Naruto simply sigh, as now we have a, you can say, everyone left with the senses, as Sakura was trying her best so that she could get near to her Sasuke-kun, while on the other hand Naruto was simply with a blank expression looking away from both of them, as Sakura, after being ignored for 1 hour, as she glared at Naruto and said, "Hey Baka, don't try to be as cool as Sasuke-kun, as what happened to you now, huh?" As Naruto simply ignored her, as Sakura glared at Naruto, "Don't ignore me, you baka," as she was about to punch Naruto, but Naruto grabbed her wrist as he glared at Sakura, as he said, "Listen to me, you banshee. Next time you try to hit me, I will make your forehead even more flat, as well as even more flat than your chest." As Sakura's eyes widened at that, even Sasuke was now looking towards Naruto, pretty surprised, as Naruto released a bit of bloodlust, which put Sakura, you can say, away from him. While on the other hand, Sasuke was pretty interested about it, as Naruto did not release all of his bloodlust. After all, these were just cannons, and Naruto had experience of the bloodlust of many shinobis when they were simply beating him to the ground. As Naruto simply ignored both of them, as after some time Sakura got her posture, she was still glaring at Naruto, as then she speak up, what happened to you, huh? Just tell me already. As Naruto simply sighed, already knowing that she is not going to leave the topic unless he tell her, as even Sasuke let out a, you can say, pretty interested, as Naruto smirked and said, well, the Naruto you knew never existed to begin with, you forehead, as Sakura had a tick mark on her head, as he said, that was just a mask so that some people could actually leave me alone if I prove myself to be a fool, while all of this time that was nothing but a mask that I was putting on. And since now I have become a shinobi, it does not matter if those people try to harm me or not, because now I'm in the military and they will pay for it if they try anything against me. And Sasuke was pretty interested, also a bit angry that a dope was hiding himself, and he was not able to figure out, though he was also wondering if the dope was also hiding his skills and all. But right now he has other things. After all, the brooding is more important than using your mind. As Sasuke started to do brood and all, as Sakura was still glaring at her, how dare this baka is nothing. He's just trying to be as cool as Sasuke-kun. As she was thinking that in her mind, as she said, well, it does not matter. You're not as cool as Sasuke-kun. As she started to look towards Sasuke, and the fangirl and all with the hearts in her eyes. As Naruto simply nodded, as he, you can say, put up, as stood up after 1 hour. Right now, they have been waiting for 2 hours for their sensei. As Naruto made, you can say, several hand signs and several papers here and there. And then he said, alright, I'm going on the rooftop. If our sensei arrive, told him to arrive here. As Sakura said, hey baka, where are you going? As Naruto said, didn't you hear me, forehead? I'm going to the rooftop. After saying that, he simply sent you in away. As Sasuke was pretty surprised by using that dope was definitely hiding his skills. He thought in his mind, damn it, as he was brooding, while on the other hand Sakura was pretty angry about it. He's just trying to be as cool as Sasuke-kun. Yeah, that is enough. As after 1 hour of waiting, Kakashi finally arrived. As Naruto right now was on the rooftop, still looking towards the clouds and all, wondering about the different plans and all those things. As Kakashi opened the door, as he realized that he has, you can say, flip a bit of wire that was around. As Kakashi's eyes widened when several kunai rushed towards him, as he was able to dodge, or rather deflect all of them with his kunai of his own. And then suddenly, as he said, well, that was good, as he stepped into the room, as then suddenly his eyes widened when he had stepped into something, as then there was a small boom, and then the smoke filled everywhere as Kakashi was sent flying outside of the window, as he simply, you can say, and went to the nearby river. As after some time, Kakashi arrived once again, as he saw that Sasuke had a you can say, sweat drop, as well as Sakura, as Kakashi was all around wet, as he said, alright, who was the one who put it there? As Sakura speak up, that would be Naruto Baka sensei, as he looked around, so where is he? As she said, he went to the rooftop. I told him not to do that to our sensei, but he did not listen. As Kakashi simply sighed, Naruto Uzumaki, well, that is pretty unique. And she said, alright, meet me to the rooftop, by saying that he sent you in away. As Sasuke stood up and started to rush towards the, you can say, academy top, while on the other hand, Sasuke couldn't wait for me, as she started to run after Sasuke and all. As Kakashi arrived on the rooftop, as he looked towards Naruto and said, so you're the one who put the trap there, huh? Well, that is pretty unique, if I must say. Though, I can already tell, you're my least favorite. As Naruto simply shrugged, well, if that's the case, who can change one's opinion, sensei? Well, it could be said otherwise. After all, you are the one who were late, and we are shinobis. We cannot afford to be late and anything. As Kakashi simply shrugged, well, I had a good excuse about it, as there was a cat which crossed, a black cat crossed my way, so I had to take a longer one. As Naruto simply shrugged and said, well, keep using your stupid excuses, it does not matter. After all, those who are weak are the ones who made excuses, though I can take that. as Kakashi narrowed his eyes towards Naruto, but for right now he simply shrugged it off. As Okay guys, here I will have this part. In the next part we are going to do a lot of, you can say, pretty interesting stuff, as I had written the script and all, and even got help from some fanfics as well. So I'm pretty sure that you guys will like this series a lot. If you guys support it, then I will make the next part of this series. Otherwise I have to drop it so that I can make some other series which you guys are interested in, because that's how I make my videos. If people lose interest in it, then it will take time for them to complete. So yeah guys, that is that. So I hope that you guys like this series. For the next part, the like goal is going to be 300 likes, and for the comment goal is going to be 180 comments. Do that and I shall upload the next part as quick as possible. So yeah guys, peace.